Good evening. In this session, let's discuss regarding third plan followed by plan holiday, otherwise called annual plans. Then we'll be looking into fourth 5-year plan. So what exactly happened during this stage? Let's try to understand very clearly. And those who are watching this video without watching the earlier video, meaning the first 5-year plan and second 5-year plan video, you please watch that video first, then you come to this video, so that you will have a continuity and you will be in a position to understand third plan followed by plan holiday followed by fourth plan very easily. If you look at the third plan period is 1961 to 1966. But when it comes to third plan, the emphasis was given for both industries and agriculture. What happened in the first 5-year plan? Agriculture was given the priority and it was a success. In the second 5-year plan, emphasis was on heavy industries. And I have discussed with you already, it was a partial success. And when it comes to agriculture during the second 5-year plan, the production has come down and the prices have increased. So that was like a warning for the government of India. That was like a warning for the planning commission. That is the reason why when it comes to the third 5-year plan, emphasis was on both industries as well as the agriculture. Agriculture that was neglected during the second year plan has been given priority on par with the industry in the third plan. This is what exactly happened. So everything was going on well and India was looking forward in a positive and vibrant mode. But unfortunately, third 5-year plan was a thorough failure. It was a disaster. What exactly happened during this time? Let's understand now. If you look at the year 1961, starting from 1947, as I told you, it was Shri Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister. So even for the first plan, second plan and the third plan, it was Shri Jawaharlal Nehru who was the Prime Minister. And in the year 1962, what happened? There was Chinese aggression. There was a war between India and China and India was not ready for the war. That was the reason why India was defeated during that particular war. But that was considered to be a big lesson for India. India has to develop from the current position to stronger position. So the idea of only development became defense and development, meaning we need to protect ourselves. So we are a sovereign nation, but we need to have enough army strength to protect ourselves. That is the reason why our outlook has been changed after the 1962 war. Clear? So it happened in 1962. And when it comes to the year 1964, unfortunately, then Prime Minister Shri Jawaharlal Nehru passed away. So there was an uncertainty. So there was a Chinese aggression. India, it was a disaster for India, very, very badly. And at the same time, the Prime Minister also passed away. So there was a lack of leadership during that particular time. Because, somebody wanted Srimati Indira Gandhi to become the Prime Minister. But some people have proposed Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri to be the Prime Minister. That is the reason why during that particular gap, Gulzari Lal Nanda has been appointed as the interim Prime Minister of India. I told you in the earlier class, the concept of interim Prime Minister is not mentioned in the Constitution. So that was an adjustment for that particular time. That is the reason why it was called, the interim Prime Minister. So Gulzari Lal Nanda was there as a Prime Minister for a very small period of time. Then it was Lal Bahadur Shastri who became the Prime Minister of India. It happened in the year 1964. But again, if you observe very clearly, in the year 1965, there was a war. In the year 1965, there was a war with Pakistan. 1962, war with China. 1965, war with Pakistan, and Indian economic system was disturbed very, very badly. Of course, India won the war, but India could not get the support from its allies. So there was another lesson for India, and India wanted to become more self-reliant. Right? That is the reason why our shift has been moved towards the self-reliance during the fourth five-year plan. I told you this point already. Clear? Now you are getting the sequence. So the concept of self-reliance has been emphasized very severely. So during the fourth five-year plan, because of the experiences of India during the third five-year plan. So it happened in 1965. Lal Bahadur Shastri was the Prime Minister, and in the year 1966, Lal Bahadur Shastri passed away. And that was the time again Shri Gulzari Lal Nanda has been appointed as the interim Prime Minister. But within a very short period of time, Srimati Indira Gandhi took over the reins and she became the Prime Minister of India. It happened in the year 1966. Clear? 1961, it is the beginning of third five-year plan. 1962, war with China. 1964, Shri Jawaharlal Nehru passed away. 1964, Lal Bahadur Shastri became the Prime Minister of India. 1965, war with Pakistan. 1966, Lal Bahadur Shastri passed away. 1966, Srimati Indira Gandhi became the Prime Minister of India. Kindly remember, between Jawaharlal Nehru and Lal Bahadur Shastri, and between Lal Bahadur Shastri and Srimati Indira Gandhi, it was Gulzari Lal Nanda who acted as the interim Prime Minister. India had interim Prime Minister only during that particular time. So tomorrow it may be a question in the examination: who of the following was the interim Prime Minister of India? Who of the following was the only person who acted as the interim Prime Minister of India? Your answer should be Gulzari Lal Nanda. Am I clear? So now we have reached the year 1966. But what happened in 1966? Srimati Indira Gandhi became the Prime Minister, and it was new to her with respect to the holding such office at the higher level. But when it comes to administrative skills, but political knowledge, she has been trained very thoroughly by her father, Shri Jawaharlal Nehru. That is the reason why, so when it comes to the administration or politics, it was like a cakewalk for Srimati Indira Gandhi. And please remember, Indira Gandhi, Srimati Indira Gandhi served as the Prime Minister for India for a quite a long period of time. And till now, she was the only woman Prime Minister of India, but ruled for a quite a long period of time, and considered to be very, 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 very strong Prime Minister, considered to be very strict Prime Minister, and she continued for a long period of time, except a few years in between. She continued up to 1984, October 31st. On this day, she was brutally assassinated. Clear? But when Srimati Indira Gandhi became the Prime Minister in 1966, and when it comes to 1966, that is the end of the third five-year plan. So now what should happen? So from 1966, you need to start fourth five-year plan. But because of the various reasons I told you that happened in India, it was a quite a disaster. Apart from war with China and Pakistan, there was also a severe drought in India, meaning failure of monsoons. As I told you, so Indian agriculture depends more on monsoons. Since there was a failure of the monsoon, there was a drastic reduction in the food grain output. So that also hit Indian economy very, very badly. So Srimati Indira Gandhi thought that instead of going for the fourth five-year plan at this stage, why don't we have short-term plans like 1 year, so that it will become easy for them to revive the plans from time to time. That was the basic idea in the minds of Srimati Indira Gandhi, and then she has decided to go ahead with the annual plans. That is the reason why during the time 1966 to 1969 we had three annual plans. So all the three annual plans put together is called annual plan period, and this period is also called plan holiday. Tomorrow it may be a question in the examination. They will ask you what is a plan holiday. Please remember, plan holiday is a holiday for 5-year plans. Holiday only for the 5-year plans, not holiday for the plans altogether. Without plan, you cannot achieve your objective. That is the reason why the system of planning continued, the planning commission continued, government was there, everything was there, but only the change is that instead of 5 years, let's have a plan only for 1 year. Clear? So 66 to 67, 67 to 68, 68 to 69, we had, three annual plans, and that became one annual plan period, and that is the first annual plan period. So they will ask you in the examination which of the following is the first considered to be the first annual plan period in India. Your answer should be 1966 to 1969. Am I clear? Now, during this particular plan holiday, so many developments have been taken place. Like, since there was a very drastic reduction in the production of the food grains, India wanted to, improve the productivity. But how is it possible? Right? If you look at the world outside, especially in countries like countries like America, they started growing more food grains than before. What is the reason here? Because they have introduced a concept called green revolution. So whenever I say green, that is related to agriculture. Clear? So you have to go for the revolution in agriculture. That is called, green revolution. So revolution is not like other political revolution or any group revolution, but you need to take drastic steps to achieve something in a particular area. Hence it is called, green revolution. That green revolution was introduced in India in the year 1966, and free hands have been given by Srimati Indira Gandhi to M.S. Swaminathan, late Shri M.S. Swaminathan, and that person implemented green revolution in India very, very, very effectively, and India will never forget that great personality. Right? Such a wonderful personalities we have in India, and one such personality is late Shri M.S. Swaminathan. Clear? And that is the reason why he is considered to be father of green revolution in India. Clear? Father of green revolution at the international level is the Norman Borlaug. But when it comes to India, be very careful. It is Shri, late Shri M.S. Swaminathan. Clear? Read the question carefully. So whether it is the father of, green revolution for India or father of green revolution in the world. So you have to be very, very clear, because both the names will be given in the options. You have to choose your option very clearly and carefully and without confusion. Clear? So this is what happened in 1960 during the first, plan holiday period. Another important development took place in the year 1969. That important development was nationalization of banks. 14 banks have been nationalized, right? So the possible questions here is that when the first nationalization of banks took place, 1969, who was the prime minister at the time? Srimati Indira Gandhi. And how many banks were nationalized during the year 1969? Your answer should be 14. Please remember 14. Two times it happened in India. First time in the year 1969. Second time it was in the year 1980. 1969, 14 banks. 1989, 6 banks. Altogether 20 banks were nationalized. And during both the periods, it was Srimati Indira Gandhi who was the Prime Minister. Please remember each and every point very clearly. Am I clear? So this is what happened with the 1969. So because of this plan holiday, because of the annual plans, because of the introduction of the green revolution, and through which we have introduced high yielding variety seeds, HYV seeds. Regarding HYV seeds green revolution, we'll discuss more points when I come to agriculture part. Clear? But now we are discussing regarding planning, so let's stick our discussion only to this area. So now because of this high yielding variety seeds, because of the new technology, we started giving more fertilizers and supplying more water. That gave the good results, and the output was very good. Yield was very good per hectare. So it has been increased very drastically. This is one good achievement. It happened in the year, so during the plan holiday period. And by the end of 1969, meaning financial year 1969, 68-69, Srimati Indira Gandhi was happy with the progress with respect to agriculture. That is the reason why she decided to stop this plan holiday. She has decided to stop the annual plans, and she wanted to go ahead with the next 5-year plan. And next 5-year plan comes into the picture in 1969. That was the fourth 5-year plan, 1969 to 1974. Clear? And when it comes to 1969 to 1974, fourth 5-year plan, the important concept is that India wants to be self-reliant. It is because of the experience that India faced, the trouble India faced during the third plan. So during the war time, so there was no cooperation from our allies. That is the reason why India wanted to be very strong. India wanted to be self-reliant. So that concept became, concept came to the forefront during the fourth 5-year plan. Clear? But unfortunately, though the first 2 years was good with respect to, the agriculture, later it was a disaster for the, this economy. And one of the reasons is that 1979 war with Pakistan. Clear? 1971 war with Pakistan. During that time, India took the side of East Pakistan, that is nothing but today's Bangladesh. And finally, East Pakistan has been liberated and Bangladesh has been created. Clear? So during this time, so there was so much of pressure on India, and that affected our fourth 5-year plan very badly. At the same time, large number of refugee influx into India. Large number of refugee influx into India before and after the 1971 war. Right? Very important one. And India had to provide shelter to so many people. India had to concentrate on them, because we don't know whether they are fair people or they may be terrorists. That is the reason why, so they were all kept in certain camps, and on humanitarian grounds you need to provide the food. Clear? And entire rehabilitation was done. Right? That is the reason why there was so much of pressure and financial burden on India before and after this particular war. Clear? And that continued for a long period of time. Even today also that pressure is there. Clear? So this is what happened. So during the fourth 5-year plan, and at the same time, so there was a drought. That is the reason why fourth plan is also considered to be a failure. Is that okay? First plan, grand success. Second plan, partial success. Third plan, disaster. We have revived our economy through plan holiday. And fourth plan, again it was a disaster. Is that clear? So we'll look at these points now. Then we'll be going ahead. Look at this. Now, so when it comes to third 5-year plan, I told you already, please note down this. It was considered as a take-off stage, and India wanted to become self-reliant and self-generating economy. We are in third 5-year plan. Because of the grand success of Plan 1 and partial success of Plan 2, India is planning something big from the third 5-year plan. That is the reason why this third 5-year plan is considered to be takeoff stage. So from normal stage we started achieving success and we want to go very rapidly from now, right? And India wanted to become self-reliant and self-generating economy during the third 5-year plan. Clear? Emphasis on basic industries continued like in plan number 2, but agriculture was also given the priority like in plan 1. That is the reason why during the third 5-year plan, emphasis was on both agriculture and industries. India decided not to neglect agriculture. If you neglect agriculture, production may come down and that will lead to inflation. Inflation will affect the economy very badly. That is the reason why third 5-year plan, the emphasis was on both industry and agriculture. The performance during this period was very poor. Clear? So now I would like to say something regarding Gadgil formula. Right? They may ask you what is Gadgil formula. Please remember, Gadgil formula has been associated with the fourth 5-year plan. Right? But the formula has been generated during the time of the third 5-year plan. Right? So that is the reason why we are discussing Gadgil formula now. Is that okay? Look at this. This was formulated with the formulation of third 5-year plan for the distribution of a plan transfers among the states. So obviously what happened here? The government also wanted states to take active part in this one. So that is the reason why. So for the distribution of the plan transfers among the states. This was the idea with respect to, Gadgil formula. Very important. But who is this Gadgil here? Look at this. It was named after Dhananjay Ramachandra Gadgil. Who was he? He was then deputy chairman of the planning commission. Clear? Very important one. He was then deputy chairman of planning commission. The central assistance that is provided for the first 3 plans and also the annual plans 1966 to 69 lacked the objectivity in its formulation and did not lead to equal and balanced growth in the states. Very important one. So during the third 5-year plan, during the plan holiday, Gadgil observed very clearly, so there is no equal amount of development in all the states. Some states are developing rapidly, some states are backwards. That is the reason why, in order to go for the balanced development of India, meaning all the states must develop equally, this Gadgil formula has come into the picture. Clear? Gadgil formula, though it is formulated during the third 5-year plan, it is implemented during the fourth plan. Right? So whatever the experiences that India faced during first, second, third and also annual plan period, from here it is generated, that is called Gadgil formula. Clear? And this Gadgil formula has been approved by National Development Council. Right? We know that already. What is NDC? We already know. National Development Council. That is the final approving authority of the 5-year plans. Right? Now, when it comes to the third 5-year plan, the reasons for the poor performance can be attributed to Chinese aggression in 1962, Indo-Pakistan War 1965, failure of the monsoon particularly during 1965 and 66. Right? Maybe a coincidence, like whenever there is a war with Pakistan, after that India faced the drought. India faced the the failure of the monsoons. It happened almost every time whenever we had a war with Pakistan. Clear? So because the situation was so worse, India has devaluated rupee to boost the exports, right? So devaluation, again I'll tell you when we come to the next topic very clearly. But when it comes to devaluation, it is the deliberate reduction of the value of its own currency by the own governments. So Indian currency value has been deliberately reduced, clear, by our own bank, that is Reserve Bank of India. Of course, government was also put in the loop, right? And this is because you wanted to promote your exports, clear. But the full details regarding devaluation I will be discussing with you when we discuss regarding the banking system, right? So this is what exactly happened. But I want you to know what exactly is devaluation. I told you this is the deliberate reduction of the value of a currency of a particular country. Clear? Who will deliberately reduce? Our own people will reduce. Our bank will reduce. Our government will reduce. Clear? Government will request the bank and the bank will reduce in order to boost the exports. How? We'll be discussing. Right? So when it comes to the third 5-year plan, so this is the period. Target growth was 5.6%, 5.6% target growth, but actual growth was just 2.8%. Just 2.8% was the actual growth, right? Now, so to conclude this one, as its conception, it was felt that India in economy entered a takeoff stage. Therefore, its aim was to make India a self-reliant and self-generating economy. Third plan. Based on the experience of the first two plans, first plan and second plan, agriculture production was seen as a limiting factor in India's economic development. So you have to improve your agriculture. Agriculture was given the top priority to support the exports and industry. Clear? So this is what exactly happened during third plan. The plan was a thorough failure in reaching the targets due to the unforeseen events like Chinese War 1962, Indo-Pak War 1965, severe drought 1965 to 66. So due to the conflicts of approach during the later phase, we have shifted from development to defense and development. Meaning, India understood very clearly, in order to go for the development, first of all, we should have the capacity to defend ourselves. That is the reason why the emphasis was shifted from development to defense and development. So this was the idea that was generated during the third 5-year plan. Hence, we have depended more on self-reliance concept during the fourth 5-year plan. Am I clear? So this is about the plan number 3. That is the third 5-year plan. Next. So when it comes to annual plans, so this is also called plan holiday. I told you already. So there were 3 annual plans, 1, 2 and 3, which we already know. Is that okay? So the planning process during this third plan was affected seriously because of the wars and famine. Meaning third plan was affected very badly because of the wars and famine. That is the reason why we have shifted to plan holiday, nothing but the annual plans. Right? So that is the reason why the fourth plan was given up till the economic normalcy is restored. Very, 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 very important one. The reason for differing, the reason for not going for the fourth 5-year plan is to allowing economy to restore to normalcy. Right? Green revolution was initiated during this period. M.S. Swaminathan is called the father of a green revolution in India. Norman Borlaug is considered to be father of green revolution for the world. HYV seeds, high yielding variety seeds, have been introduced. As the supply of food grains increased, the food prices came down and economic stability was restored. meaning whatever we have lost during the third 5-year plan, it has been restored during the plan holiday. Agriculture production increased, supply increased, prices will come down. Is that okay? Similarly, nationalization of banks was a major step during this period. 14 banks were nationalized. What do you mean by nationalization? Nationalization is nothing but the taking over the control of the private banks by the government. Clear? Government will take the control over the private banks. That is called a nationalization. That happened in India for 2 times. First time in the year 1969, where 14 banks were nationalized. Second time in the year 1980, where 6 banks were nationalized, and at both the times it was Srimati Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India. Am I clear? So please remember this one. But regarding a nationalization of the banks, I am going to discuss with you more when we come to our banking system. Clear? Next. So what exactly happened, here? Refusal of supplies from allies during Indo-Pak war resulted in twin objectives. So during that particular time, especially during the time of war with Pakistan, India's allies refused to give certain supplies, and that was an eye opener for India. So India went for 2 objectives. One is growth with stability, and the second one is the progressive achievement of self-reliance. So this happened during the 4th 5-year plan. Over. Next. Right. So now let's go to 4th plan, and you know the dates very clearly. The motto was growth with stability and progressive achievement of self-reliance. Right? Don't forget this point. So we have emphasized on self-reliance during the 4th 5-year plan. Emphasis was on growth with justice. Agriculture and allied sectors were given priority, but the achievements fell short of targets. I told you the reason. Because of the refugees influx before and after the war of 1971, plus 1971 war itself, and followed by severe drought in India. Hence, the 4th plan was not a success. The reasons for the poor performance can be instability of the prices, Indo-Pakistan war in 1971, influx of refugees from Bangladesh before and after the war. Is that okay? After the war it is called Bangladesh, but before that it was called East Pakistan. And severe drought during the year 1972. All these are considered to be the reasons for the the failure of the 4th plan. Clear? And please remember these points very clearly. 1969 to 74 is the plan period. Target growth was 5.7%. Clear? Target growth. But actual growth was, it was 3.3%. Clear? It was just 3.3%. Now, right. So target growth was 5.7%. I'll show you once again. But actual growth was only 3.3%. Right. And finally, we have come with the Gadgil formula in the year 1969, and it has been implemented through 4th 5-year plan. And I want you to remember very clearly, Gadgil formula is different, Gadgil-Mukherjee formula is different. So, right, when it comes to Gadgil-Mukherjee formula, it is in 1990. Mukherjee, do you remember this name? Pranab Mukherjee, one of the very, 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 very important personalities in India. And India lost this great personality during the COVID time, Pranab Mukherjee. He served in various capacities at the central level, considered to be very intellect, considered to be troubleshooter, and finally, he also became, the President of India, right? A wonderful personality, right? So, and that person, when he was the deputy chairman of the planning commission, he came out with the Gadgil Mukherjee formula of 1990. So this is a slight development over Gadgil formula. Fine. Now, right. So when it comes to, the main emphasis was on growth rate of agriculture to enable other sectors to move forwards. Kindly remember, agriculture, industry and services. For industries, the raw material is supplied from the primary sector. That is the reason why without agriculture the development is not possible. First 2 years the plan saw record production, good, right? But the last 3 years did not measure up due to the poor monsoon and also because of the war with Pakistan. Implementation of family planning program were among the major targets of the plan. So during that time, India adopted the family planning concept. Clear? India started publicizing, India started advertising to the people with respect to the problems that the country will face because of the overpopulation. That is the reason why family planning program has been this is given priority. Of course, some disturbances have been taken place during the national emergency during 1975 to 77. I'll discuss those points with you, in the next session. But otherwise, so these are the important points with respect to Plan 3, followed by Plan Holiday, and then by the fourth 5-year plan. Fine. So that's all in this session, and rest of the plans we'll be looking into in the next session. Thank you so much, and I wish you all very, very good luck. Take very good care.